Her hair and eyes are teal-colored. Those who look upon her will always find its kind smile. Hello, ladies and lords. Today I will be talking about the Undying Witch of the Flora Order. Where have I been? Well, nowhere to be exact, just sitting on my desk writing. I spend some of my time here and there. I did a wedding shoot not too long ago, and let's just say I was editing photos all night to the point where I was pushing myself till dawn. I felt like Goku trying to reach his first Super Saiyan stage. It was a matter of life or death. Okay, I'm exaggerating there, but let's continue. And if you hear jingling bells, that's my cat Medeer. As mentioned before, I'm drawing Lady Olinda, commonly known as the Great Witch from my Dragon and Mirror series. This is just the video in anticipation of the third book, The Black Hat. I redid my website recently, and that involved deleting my blog posts. I put a lot of effort in those posts, so I grabbed the ones that I could save, and I was pretty lucky to find that I still had the post about Olinda. I'm going to read what is said, and if there is anything new to share, I will share it. So let's continue. When Rith meets the Great Witch, Olinda, he sees an old woman with white curly hair, a slim body with slender arms and hands. Frail-looking, kind, yet bearing some strength, our protagonist sensed when she helped him off the floor. Quote, "At least you know what your hair color looked like," she teased, trying to make light of the situation. "When I was born, a head full of teal covered my head." This is a quote from Olinda in The Hunted Prince. In this scene, she's talking to Romy, who is hating her orange hair, and we're not talking about naturally auburn or red hair. Like, her hair is pretty out there. Back to the post. To date, Olinda is known for being the oldest human in Altendria, though that isn't true. She doesn't correct him. In Altendria, humans can live up to 200 years. There is no exact age for Olinda except that she is over 500 years old. Medeer, I don't know what you're doing, but I can hear you through these headphones. The title of the Great Witch is not something you can buy or influence. No intellect in stellar or talent can win a witch to gain such a title. It is gained only through widespread acknowledgement of one's deeds. Of course, a former Great Witch could put a ward or two, but it generally hangs on the shoulder of the witch. When Olinda was in her prime, she was no witch and no student of the Order. She never even stepped foot in the Flora or the Crimson Order. She lived a quiet and strange, isolated life in a forest not far from Vistra, a town nestled between the safe entry of Talonarch. The Lunar Wars existed then, and Olinda often closed her doors to those who were affected by the monstrous war. It is unclear who she met, but she opened her doors in the next Lunar War and offered to heal wounded soldiers, tend the victims, and aid the orphans. One thing that is clear is that she became a follower of the Way. Now, I'm going to pause this right here, because I really have to mention this. I wrote this fictitious religion called the Way before the whole Mandalorian show came up. But it's to this day, because I watched it, to this day, it's really hard for me to read it or to write it without thinking of the Mandalorians. And I'm just like, great, I screwed myself there. Anyways, continuing on. This is the only hint that who she met must have converted her to the one God faith. So basically, she made a turnaround and started helping people, and that was credited to one of those followers. Now, seeing the Lunar War for the first time, The sound of battle was often heard in Olinda's cottage home. After learning to care for the wounded, this time she decided to see for herself how bad it was. With the moon peering behind her back, she gazed at the flames below. Humans, dwarves, Denonis, and elves looked like ants in the Oroga lands, pushing back the constant advance of the cloaked knight and his monstrous army. From the bloody war, stellar spilled in the air from witches and wizards who defended the strongholds of each kingdom. Something stirred inside Olinda that night. Taking a simple branch from a tree, she used it like a wand and entered the fight. The title as the Great Witch was won from her contribution in keeping witches and wizards safe during the Lunar Wars, aiding the cardinal points in their task, and for her ability to cast lightning without a wand or staff. So, cast lightning. There is one of the basic elementals that you can bend in Dragon of Mirrors is water, terra, ice, and fire. And those are like the basic ones. And I'm not going to go on a long spree on this, but there are no casters of lightning, and Olinda is that rare person who can cast it. That makes her, and it's not like to say she's unique, it's just to say that it adds more mystery to her, like, who the heck are you? The Great Witch and the Hunted Prince. When Rith first meets Olinda, he and everyone and their mother would describe her as a kind old woman who smiles often and is forgiving of others. It's important to note that Olinda has various important roles to play. Though only a side character, she is often behind the scenes. One of her greatest passion is that she is a hard believer that there can be an end to the Lunar Wars. Though I have mentioned her past, Olinda says less. Who was she before she opened her doors to the desolated people of the Lunar War? In the 500 years she gained Eltendra's trust, there was no family, no children, and no spouse. Perhaps as the series continues, this strong and kind witch will show us more. End of the original blog post. Alright, so what can we uncover more about Olinda and the Black Hat? Well, that will depend on one character who has a particular set of eyes, and that is Red Hat Albert. He makes a formal appearance in Connor's Adventures. That's an exclusive short story that is available to those who sign for my newsletter. Red Hat Albert is what you would call a talented wizard. He is the inventor of the self-moving carriages that requires Stellar to move, and he is creating a cloak that could take more attacks than already woven defenses on Hat's attire. Though it didn't help that Connor took the prototype. Anyways, Red Hat Albert has this unique interest upon Lady Olinda. A healthy one? Well, that depends on who you ask. Most Black Hats like Lucinda do not like his special eye on the Great Witch. But in the Black Hat, you will know just a tad bit more of Lady Olinda. Whether these claims are true or not are still open for discussion. So back to what I'm drawing. I am drawing a portrait of Lady Olinda. This portrait hangs in the library of the Flora Order. This portrait is special in a way because that's the portrait that Red Hat Albert first saw and became quite interested in her. Again, more in the third book of Dragon of Mirror series, The Black Hat. And well, that is it for today. I haven't posted a video in forever, and since I don't know how or what to do with this channel, I'm just going to post whatever I want. Until then, safe travels.